Today I took a visit down to Riverwood Aquatics near Sudbury. That Pete in there, great guy, really gave me a lot of help. He had some terrariums, so I think that's how you pronounced it, terrarium. So I'm going to build a terrarium, which is the first time I've ever done it. I watched Pete's YouTube on how to build it, and he had this 170, I think it's called, made in China, glass jar. It comes with a light will go on there, and then there's a switch to switch it on and off, and it's got a tiny fan in the top here, which you can barely hear, so I was really pleased with that. On the YouTube channel he said he had a list of things to start with. So what I have here, I've got some Tropica aquarium soil, very fine sand, just to add an accent to the front, as he did on his video. I am pretty much recreating what he did today, so because I quite like the look of that. We've got this moss. Now this moss is it's lovely stuff. It's cushion moss, I think it called. I'm not quite sure which. It's really quite thick. Lots of pine needles in it. I've also bought 3 plants, which are these ones here. These 2 are both, well, one's a white Fittonia and a red Fittonia, and we've also got a Japonica pusillus. That's a very strange name. So we're going to put all of those in a little bit later. I've got them just steeping in water because that's how they came out from his shop. I also bought a stone, which when this is wet it'll go black, so I'm hoping it'll stay pretty black inside the terrarium once it's done. And I already had some timber or some wood, I don't know what sort of timber it is, bogwood or something, I don't know. I already had a piece of that which I've broken in 2, so I may even put a piece of that in. Handy, I've got some aquascaping tools to help me, and another pair of scissors just in case. First thing to do is to put the aqua soil into here, and I'm just going to pour it in. I'm not quite sure how much I need. We'll start off with that amount, and then because we want this it's going to sit in a corner, I want a nice slope at the back. I think I'm going to put all of this in there. I bought a whole bag, so I mean I've only used a fraction of the bag here, so I'm going to pull that back down there, and I think that's probably as much as I want. So the next thing to do is to get some of this moss. I'll just move that out of the way for the time being, and you can see that it's got a pillar moss, I think he called it. Pine needles in here because it's collected from the pine forest. I quite like the pine needles in there, so I'm going to leave them in, most of them I think. And I will just trim some of this off the bottom here, just to make this a little less bulky to start off with. Apparently you can be quite brutal with this. So there's one piece. I've got some larger pieces here. I might start with this larger piece first. So again, I quite like the pine needles, but I will take some of them out. And then I will cut some of this away on the bottom here. Yeah, I'm making a right mess on my desk anyway, that's for sure. There we go. So give it a little bit of a squeeze to spread it out, and then I'm going to insert it into the other pot here, trying to keep out the way of the cameras as best I can. And then I'm going to just shove that up the top, out the back. There we go. I'm going to be making fingerprints all over the place, I think, with this. There's lots more here. There's a smaller, let's find a big piece, I think is the way to go. And again, I'm just going to trim some of this off the bottom. Some of the needles can stay in there. I just give that a little gentle squeeze. I did give this a spray with water before, just to make sure it didn't dry out on me while I was waiting to do this. That's probably as high as I want to go at the back there. I will put some wooden stuff in later, but I've got lots of this moss here to go in. So I'll just give that a bit of a squeeze, and we'll put that down at the side here. The moss does not need to be in contact with the substrate necessarily, so if I can get my big shovel hands in there, I might just put that up a little bit higher at the back. There we go. And then I should fit another piece just on there. And what this will do over time, when it will fill out a little bit, these little tiny florets, which I'm not sure if you can see here, will get bigger and bigger. And the examples he had in the shop were absolutely gorgeous. So I'm hoping mine will turn out the same as his. This is the sort of sand that you fill the gaps in block paving. Some of it's a little bit damp, but it will become very damp over time. So this is just to give a bit of accent at the front. And also should have got a paintbrush just to clear this off the side of the glass, but I can do that later on. Trying not to get too much onto the moss at this point in time. And I think that's probably enough there, just to break it up. So that's just the sand that I use in block paving. I will put my stone in, and I want this to have pride of place right up at the front here. Now actually I'm going to put it off to the side and do a little bit of moving around with it. There we go. Let's try putting some of the plants in. So first one I'm going to try is this white Fittonia. Yeah, definitely white Fittonia. It's in the little pots with the rock wool, and there's quite a few plants here. I'm not quite sure how brutal I can be, and they're also quite tall. I'm not sure I need all of these, so I might just put one in for now, and then we'll see what that happens. I'll keep the others, I'll replant the others later and back into the rock wool. I'm going to trim some of the roots away, not all of it, just need some there, and I might take one or two of these bigger leaves off the bottom as well. There we go. It's starting to wilt under these lights a little bit. I'm not even sure this will root itself if I cut it shorter. I'm going to try and put this down into the substrate through the moss. Just nice and gently push it in there. I guess it... Oh, that's actually quite nice like that. And then I'm going to take the red one. There are two well-established plants in this one. I'm going to use this one here, I think, and I'll keep the other one, repot that later. Same as before, I'm just going to cut away some of the roots and trim off whatever. There's one or two broken leaves near the bottom there, so I'm going to trim off those as well. And I don't like that one there for now. There we go, and I'm going to take that one away as well. There we go, that looks quite nice. And I'm going to put that on the other side, again into the moss. And that's gone right down to the substrate, so that looks quite good. And the last one, I'm going to put in a little piece of I think that is called Ophiopogon, Japonica pusillus. That sounds rather different, doesn't it? So I'm going to cut off some of these roots. I'm going to be quite brutal with this one. I'm not sure how fast any of these plants grow, because this is all, as I say, this is all new to me. First time I've done a terrarium. Oh, there's loads of shoots in here. Look, I'm having a grand time, so I guess I can be quite brutal in it. I think if I can split it here, there we go, there it is. And there's a nice side shoot there which I'd like to recover if I could. There it is, look at that. And we'll keep these, and we'll put one of these in the foreground to start with, right in the front. And I think I might try and plant this with my tweezers. There we go. Good old aquascaping tools. There we go. And we're going to push that down into there. There we go. And that hopefully will grow quite nicely there. And this one I'm going to put towards the back. There we go. I'm hoping that will find its way down to the substrate behind the outside of the moss. That looks pretty good. So there we go. Let's put the light on, let's see what that looks like. Get that switch on. Oh, look at that. That looks lovely. I'm not sure how much water I'm supposed to put in this to keep it moist. So I'm going to give it a spray and then just see what it looks like over the next day or so. So I hope it won't miss the glass too much. I have no idea how much I should be putting in here. But that's probably enough there. I'll have to come up with another idea for my timber because I don't think that is going to do anything in there. It just doesn't look right at all, I don't think. Unless I can plant it like that. And that might be alright actually. That looks better actually than before. If I look around. Yeah, that does it for me. So where's the light gone? There's the light. And there it is. And turn it on. Okay, well the glass is all misted up now, but so I'm going to leave that for a few days. I'm going to obviously clean the inside of the, rearrange the white sand, but I think I'm quite happy for my very first attempt. And I've got, what have I got left here? Almost a box of the moss left over. So that's how much moss I got left over from two of these packets. So I'll keep that moist for the next few days. My plants, I've got loads of plants left, enough for at least another 2 or even 3 of these terrariums. And thanks very much for Pete at Riverwood Aquatics.